Respected dignitaries in the dais, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It gives me pleasure to share my 30 years experience in LED industry. To some of you, it may be helpful for the industry, for the employment, for the government, whatever it may be. I am the managing director and founder of MIC Electronics Limited in 1985, and also I am the president of All India LED Manufacturers Association. Mr. Hassan, thanks for the opportunity, and 4S Group. The smart solutions of smart cities using towards smart energy. Basic principles of energy saved is energy generated. From that principle, we have to maximize always energy availability and minimize the energy wastage. That's the basic principle. And as per IREDA, Indian Renewable Energy, 1 unit saved is 2.5 units generated. Basic thumb rule. If you take a power plant of a thermal power plant, the plant efficiency may be 70%, and the transmission loss is 22%, and distribution losses may be more than 10%. So almost 30% we are going after generation, and plant efficiency is 70%. 70 into, if you take the 70 is around 49, 50% we are losing there itself. So there, where we can save, where we can virtually generate the energy. That is the basic concept in the world, going in a very big way. If you include that one in a smart way of doing things, the smart networked world, we can do very well in this. And also, luckily, fortunately, along with the 100 cities of smart cities implementation, Prime Minister Ji announced in January 5th, 100 LED cities by converting into total municipalities, big municipalities into LED-based lighting, and also implementing more than 20 crore bulbs program by saving 60 watt towards 9 watt or 7 watt bulbs. Almost 20 crore bulbs they want to distribute for free or 10 rupees per bulb, where they can manage the peak load, demand. You may be knowing or not, street lights may be using 12 hours, but they pay more than 12 hours because they buy the power from the generation companies. They cannot buy for hours. They have to buy for 24/7. So whether used or not, immaterial, because we cannot store the energy. We need a lot of battery packs to store the energy. That being a reason, our peak demand may increase from 6 to 10, for example. Most of the villages, they use the bulbs, 60 watt bulbs. If you replace that one with the 10 rupees, even if you give free, the government will save enormously if you do that one. That peak load, he can reduce the procurement of power. Total power, suppose is procuring 100 megawatt. He can procure only 60 megawatt. If you manage this one, peak load analysis, that's the basic concept, where the energy utilization at different loads, if you balance that one by using the existing LED technology, they can do wonders. LED-based street light concepts, of course, the total control also, I should say about 3-4 companies of central government other than state government. DIT, Department of Electronics and Information Technology, headed by Ravi Shankar Prasad and Joint Secretary Dr. Ajay Kumar. And then Bureau of Energy Efficiency under Power Ministry, and Energy Efficiency Services Limited, ESL, and MNRE, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Under 2 ministries, one is Department of Electronics and other one is Power Ministry. These 4 organizations doing wonders in this country to save a lot of energy by different ways, not only lighting but also the different equipment or solar energy generation and usage of solar things. And similarly, the cities can be smarter by using street lights, and after that, the same thing can be applied for the homes. The one more great advantage here is LED lighting for poles. Each pole can be monitored as one monitoring point where you can put sensors, you can give the weather reports to the different departments, and also you can have cameras. That camera can be controlled, a smart view might be having so many people. Put the office in a small camera, you can view from there as you like. So that can be given to the traffic management department. So we can create infrastructure such a way, not only with the street lights embedded with cameras, smart cameras with smart sensors, that can be given a lot of information to the other departments where we are creating a smart cities. And LED, of course, there are immense applications before going to that next generation, applications. The LED, I want to spend 1 minute about LED. So without LED, we are not living today. If you wake up, you switch on the phone, it may be backlight LED display or OLED display, and you switch on the light, it is LED light, and you go to office, you switch on the car dashboard, backlight is LED, or signal lamps of a car or a bike is LED, or when you stop at the signals, it's LED signals, and go to office, again, turn off the computer, backlighting is LED. After that, you do all the work at the end, you'll be coming back, and digital signage will be seeing that is LED, and come back home and do everything. After that, even while sleeping, bed light also LED. Not only in the earth, if you go to the flight, is on the air, all LED lights in the flight. If you go to the sea, anywhere in the globe, anywhere you go, everyone using LED displays, LED lighting or LED solutions. Not only that, if you are a bald head, there is a solution for growing hair. If you are having a plantation, air growing, not only air growing, but also plant growing LEDs came recently. In a white light, we are saving almost 80% of energy. Still in the white light, the plants don't need a green. Only we have blue and red if you manage. The green is almost 60% of the energy in the white. In that 40%, if you grow the plant in a proper way, the plants can grow without sleep almost 18 hours. And recently, the other studies in Europe, McDonald's and all, they're planning to grow the plants for the supply chain management of the food channels. They are using this extensively, making use of a solar or non-solar with a great, without, land also they are growing in the air. Like, this is the applications I should say. And similarly, recent other application, D vitamin. If you are, a D vitamin this thing with a 1000 watt or a maybe bigger wattage light, if while doing bath or while doing a washroom, it can be for 20 minutes, your D vitamin problem also will be gone. Like that, everywhere penetration of LED is going on, and the history, I should say, the 130 years back, Thomas Alva Edison invented, bulb. After 130 years, the efficiency is still, the bulb efficiency is not even 20 lumen per watt, whereas LED is 10 times more, 200 lumens per watt. In between, so many other technologies came, but it has bypassed all the things. So basically, at the source itself, we are saving or creating a lot of energy efficiency. If you use that one in a smart way, we can do wonders. Of course, the smart city is using wonders. Maybe the ultimate aim is IoT, Internet of Things. The Internet of Things, trillions of sensors, billions of intelligent systems, millions of applications, of course, trillions of dollars business is there for us. Not only that, Internet, connected devices of more than 12.5 billion, of course, 7 billion people, extended number of, by 2020, mostly 50 billion globally. And 100 smart cities, 7,000 crores, Government of India has given the budget for coming 1 year, I think. Some of the key aspects of the smart cities, what we are doing is so many things. In that, women's safety is one more thing, telecare, and we are focusing on smart grid, smart urban lighting, and smart city maintenance, digital signages. Role towards smart energy, of course, I covered most of the lighting. In a CCMS also, they are recently managing a centralized monitoring system, also the part of the tenders what ESL is doing. With that, a total energy meter, intelligent energy meter for 20 lights or so, they are monitoring entire city that can be monitored anywhere in the globe. Similarly, the Globix, Global Billboard Exchange, we can monitor, billboards also centrally by daytime means more brightness, nighttime means less brightness. So these are the typical 3-tier implementation what we did, and we are proud we got the recent orders for entire Krishna district and Guntur district, and also in Telangana people are planning to implement entire Telangana cities into LED cities with a implementation of total networks. Even we have a solution, Google Map, we can map and we can switch on off the lights. That also there. And of course, in the smart city concept, applications are plenty. in the software, technology, integration of communications and embedded systems, and IT, all are integrated at IoT, where we are very, very good at, and we have to utilize them in a proper way. And of course, human comfort, as we mentioned, that the business is so big, 185 gigawatt capacity of power generation, more than 65% is thermal, 21, hydel, and 20 greenhouses, 85,000 villages still don't have electricity, basic electricity in India. And energy, for the energy cost, entire world is 140 billion euros globally, almost 160 billion. And power consumption is 2.2300 terawatts. 2 billion tons of CO2 will be emitted. And an opportunities in lighting in 2020 is almost 98 billion euros, almost 6 lakh crores. Just only lighting, if you take a overall LED scenario, it may be almost 3 times. Total ecosystem will be 3 times. By 2020, in India, almost $30 billion market. It's a great opportunity for so many people. And this market situation and outlook, so many people are banning this LED bulbs, incandescent bulbs in different stages. Similarly, market, regarding market, I'll take 1 minute. Regarding market, Asia is the leading market because all developed countries are, we have to change the infrastructure. So we got an advantage of leapfrogging. Almost Asia leading global countries, LED growth is very, very high. And LED applications, of course, lighting and displays and real LED TV. What you are seeing is not a LED TV, what LCD TV with a LED backlight, but real LED TV is also coming, and we are proud we did that one in 2010. And also, this is a 30-year industry, what we are from Hyderabad, we are doing globally. We're exporting so many screens. Also, we are first company to be announced proudly. We did a LED hologram in the world. It's a daytime visible hologram. The telepresence. These people can be present teleway. That is also a smart way we can save a lot of time of VVIPs. They need not come here. They'll present in a 3D here. It's a naked eye. What we did already. Anyone can come and see. So, promotion of LED lighting, of course, we covered lighting industry, lighting market, and mainly it is a 3 bottom lines we can cover: social, ecological, and commercial bottom line in this industry. All engineering disciplines, you name it, chemical, basically LED is a chemical industry. It can be mechanical, civil, electrical, electronics, communication, power electronics, optical engineering, embedded systems, and software, networking, everything can be covered in this one segment. Opportunity-based technocrats, all categories of employees from IITI or a 10th class failed fellow also can do lighting solutions, or a PhD fellow can do R&D in a chemical way. Use of LED 25/7 anywhere in the globe, land, sky, sea. The total ecosystem will be other applications, more than 150 billion market. Indian market is total ecosystem is 25 billion by 2020. Presently, annual cost for power lighting is 185 billion. Thank you very much.
So actually, instead of actually us asking ourselves questions and actually responding, since we're all, see, energy is a topic that is close to our heart. So that's why actually, we'll actually take questions from the audience. That way we get to respond to them and actually at least close the session in reasonable time. So you had questions, please.
Yeah, my name is Srinivas. I come from ICT background. And as per my understanding, for any alternate energy to work, there must be a reference power. So usually it is a grid power. So in the context of smart cities stroke smart societies, what I believe is the priority to improve the grid, right, and then insert the alternate solutions to make the entire living parameters as smarter. So in my opinion, our effort must be to study the issues with the grid first, right, and then work out an integrated solution in those identified 100 cities. And also I have a question to the panel, that is there any analysis done for our country that what is that effort required to make the grid power more healthier for those 100 cities versus introducing the alternate solutions?
Okay. Uh, I think when it comes to the grid, which is the most critical element for distribution, starting from the large plants to the transmission and distribution, the way you have your TS, Transco, and also the DISCOMs. Each elements of the utility are, let me just start with that a little bit. The grid is being strengthened with enormous changes. For example, earlier they used to use dedicated networks to collect data from different elements. That is, earlier the network was much limited, the number of substations were limited, the feeders were limited and all that. And with the dedicated lines, they used to get the data and they used to plan everything accordingly. But now they're actually modernizing everything into much more of a substation automation, feeder monitoring and management. And also distribution automation is a huge area in utilities, right? These are all, and also in transmission also. And where there is a lot of sensing, monitoring, self-correction, and also centralized monitoring and with data collection analytics. Those systems are getting into each and every area, like Power Grid Corporation doing across India for above 440 kV, and the transmission companies inside the states and the distribution companies, everybody is getting into it. The part which is the biggest part that is missing today is the distribution companies are not acting fast in terms of smart meters or are modernizing the distribution functions. That part is the one that is really lacking, and they're all working on it, they're all aware of it. Minister of Power is aware of it. And the pilots are happening and some projects are happening across India. So there is not a neglected area. There's a lot of study done and there's a lot of work getting done. It's just that we're not able to address those things in such a short time. It is a huge area that's getting addressed. So actually, if you get a chance, look at the Smart Grid forums and also Smart Grid Task Force and some of the publications. And Central CEC has published a number of reports on that. Minister of Power has published a number of reports on that for India. But having said that, when we started talking about smart societies, one of the reasons we keep talking about societies is because if you want to modernize the grid or the distribution across Hyderabad, it probably is enormous effort where they cannot even fund it or they cannot pay for it. The customers can pay for it. So because of these issues, what we believe is these things will probably happen in pockets. And starting with the largest of them, let's say you take the high-tech city with the Raheja campus. If they want to implement some of the smart grid functions, it's a lot easier for them. They can pay for it, they can implement it. And if you take private townships, they can implement some of the advanced functions. So we believe that, let's say if you take any public sector like BHEL township, and we provided energy monitoring for them and also management for them. It's a lot easier for them to take a decision and having TSS DCL or TS Transco or somebody to actually make decisions. So that's why in the beginning itself, because that is probably where the smart functions will probably enter. And then in the meantime, the grid will actually take up. The biggest problem with the grid is the who's going to pay for it. That's the biggest issue. Okay? But there's a lot more material on that and there's a lot more efforts going on. Anyone else? We got two people here.
My question is to all the panel members, is for the smart societies to succeed, one of the requirements is to know KYL, know your location. So just like KYC, we need know. Now, has any work been done in this regard? Because we don't have the kind of the data, the JS data, which is generally available as a download item in most of the Western countries. In India, we don't have. Even the images, the Google images that we get, is are of very called 1:100 resolution or even higher. So, has anybody worked on this, or is there any activity being done on that so that If
let,
there is,
let me answer that. Actually, as part of RAPDRP, which is a large program that started happening in 2008, number of utilities already are doing these GIS mapping. The municipalities are doing it across the towns and cities, and the utilities are doing it. Now, that is a major function which should be done if it is not done properly as part of the smart city.
yeah.
Perfect. That is an excellent application, GIS mapping. And luckily, the mobiles also have the GIS location. Now, there are a lot more applications coming, taking advantage of mobiles.
My suggestion, can we as an industry forum ask the government to make these things available to every industry so that it becomes, anybody can start an application and then start using.
That is a very important part of, actually is part of smart city. One of the biggest thing is as we collect data for many applications, a lot of the data without revealing the privacy, it should be made available for other smart applications.
Yeah.
That's one of the parts of it.
Two questions I have. One is on the, especially on the smart grids, the transmission and distribution losses can be taken care the part of the smart grids. What proposed in the 100 smart cities in India? That's one question. The second question about the LED bulbs. Is the LED bulbs are suitable to the power fluctuations? Because in India and in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, there are a lot of power fluctuations. And is the LED bulbs are suitable to those power fluctuations? Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
90 to 305. Thanks to the specifications of EESL, and the power electronics technology has grown very well. For example, we started LED lighting in 2007 ISO. I started the implementation of so many street lights in India, and also simultaneously we did Pittsburgh, we did one experiment. The Pittsburgh lights didn't fail 9 months, not even one day. The same lights in India failed 7 times because of the, as you said rightly, the power conditions. Yeah. We are fortunate to face that 7 times, 7 challenges. We improved a lot. And now we are in such a position we can export some of the countries against China, even some part of the China also. Okay. The reason is once you make it strict, we'll grow to that occasion. So that is the opportunity what we have in India because of bad power conditions. Okay. Very rugged design, power electronics. And someone is talking about DC power. I partly disagree. Already the network is there, 230 volts. DC power may be okay for solar-based systems. Mm-hmm. But LED, 3 volts you may be knowing, but LED voltage now 63 volts. Now the current should be very less to have a best design. The voltage should be high so that the reliability will be very high. And now the AC LEDs were designed with a 63 volts, with 4 LEDs, 230 volts. We are using 230 volts straight away. It won't fail in our life. I'll guarantee not only that this thing, we are giving guarantee 7-year warranties. Okay. So that is situation, nothing to worry. And one more very fortunate thing I will tell you. Now LED is cheaper than CFL. Can you believe that? LED bulb is cheaper than CFL because of volumes, because of the Government of India recent policy. They want to implement 20 crore bulbs in India this year, 90 lakh street lights in this year. That is the first one. Second one, about the managing the transmission lines, etc. One blessing in disguise, for example, the street light load in Hyderabad is around, they are spending 190 crores. And maintenance is 30 crores, around 160 crores the power bill. That can be reduced along with maintenance to 75 crores. Every month, every year they can save 110 to 120 crores. Every month 10 crores they can save. Only in Hyderabad I am talking about 3.5 lakh street lights, about street lights. What is happening, we need not do anything for the cabling because already the load is being reduced to 30 to 40%. It means all the old cable, overloaded cable will be utilized much more way. That 60% load reduction, same way some of the, you are talking about DC fans, 30 volts. DC fans, okay, DC brushless motor fan is 30 volts. But you convert that one to DC to AC, it can work for AC 230 volts, same power, maybe 2-3 watts more. So basic core technology. So go for 7-star or 5-star energy efficiency devices. Air conditioners, especially fans and lighting, we can reduce the load to 40%. So virtually we are doing without increasing, any grid, background transmission lines, we can achieve this by using the energy efficiency scheme, whatever being implemented by a great EESL and under Power Ministry. Thank you.
Very good, very good. I think that's a very detailed answer. When it comes to smart grid on the distribution side, in India, there were some pilots that happened across India. And one of the most significant pilot is in Pondicherry in 2012. A number of companies, meter companies, international companies, multinational companies, and our system integrators, your large SIs, they all have come together to actually deploy smart grid applications in Pondicherry. And because one of the biggest issues in RAP-DRP is that the smart meters that were deployed at the transformer and DT and feeder level, they were not communicating, or they're not completely sending the data back to the back-end data center, the servers. So when the data is not going through, the biggest issues, the ones to blame were meters are not giving the protocols properly, and the GPRS is the issue, the communication is an issue. So for smart grid to happen, these two are typically the major issues. The meter communications, the meter readiness to give the protocols and support these communications. And secondly, the communication network, the backhaul communication network. So if you look at a smart grid, right, if you take a smart meter at the customer location, multiple 20, 30, 50 of these smart meters are collected in the form of a DCU, data concentrator unit, that itself. So that is a neighborhood network, or the home to DCU network. That network has to be a reliable network. In India, that network is being, so a number of these networks have been tried out in Pondicherry. PLCC, Power Line Carrier Communications, Mesh Wi-Fi, and ZigBee, and also GPRS, which is a communication directly from the smart meters to the backend servers. Now, interestingly, we actually have a company, a Hyderabad-based company, who done PLCC communications and succeeded really well, sitting right here, Abhilash from J&J. And they did an excellent pilot project at the time. So we actually, from NeoSilica, we were on the server side, integrating all the different meter communications on the server side. So that was a successful project, and after that, multiple projects came up across India. Basically, the Ministry of Power, they actually found credibility that these things can work, and they came up with requirements. 14 smart grid pilot projects are coming up, or are coming up across India. Starting with Mysore, and in Hyderabad, the TSSP DCL also should be having a smart grid project in GD Metla, and Orissa, Haryana, like this. There were 14 smart grid projects that are supposed to be coming up. Some of them have been awarded, and some are still not. So, but based on that, this experience, now we actually have the private utilities like Tata Power and all these project companies that are actually implementing smart grid. So enormous work is getting done, and transmission side also there are a lot of improvements. So it is being done iteratively, and so one of the things that a smart city should have is you should not see the distribution electrical lines, overhead lines in the city. So the line should go underground. This is one of the major criteria. Today, when you look at all these electrical lines, they're all hanging in a lot of funny shapes and all that. It's too difficult. I mean, it's very difficult to put even the LED and all these other lighting systems, public lighting systems. So they're all going underground. That is one of the major topics of a smart grid. So if you look at it, there are a lot of topics, and there's a lot of things happening on the utility side. Any other questions? Yeah, please.
So my question is about solar power technology adoption. He mentioned that it's financially viable to get the stuff in 5 years. So after that it's free. So that being clean power, that being cheaper after a number of years, what is being done creatively to make sure that home solar power and solar energy adoption becomes more viable? Because that's one of the key things in a smart city, smart grid, and wherever you say, it's cheaper energy, free energy, and it's clean energy.
Yes, please.
The government of India has provided financial subsidies. So that is the encouragement they are doing. So the customers have to now come forward to start using it. There are various incentives and subsidies already being provided for solar rooftops. So we just have to start using it. There is no problems in start using solar rooftops.
Well, there is definitely some problem, otherwise you see the adoption is not as much as it should be.
Yeah,
So
adoption.
what are the major stumbling blocks, and without government's help, like how can this be done? Can entrepreneurs do anything? Like what's a creative way of making sure that essentially cost is one of the major factors, right? So since you are saying it pays off in 5 years and after that it's free, so take a 10-year lifespan, it's way cheaper than the electrical energy. So what entrepreneurs can do to make sure that there is more adoption? That's my.
No, there are no problems in going it. I mean, entrepreneurs can start doing it immediately. The paybacks, if you use a battery, would be slightly more. If you're doing net metering, would be slightly lesser. But yeah, it's extremely viable to do solar rooftops now. So, I mean, why there's no mass adoption is a lack of knowledge, lack of advertisement. I think, but slowly, all the large buildings, large organizations are already started doing rooftops. And it will come. I mean, it will slowly picking up momentum.
See, typically, most of these advances are going to be adopted by the commercial, industrial, and then large townships or neighborhoods. It doesn't reach a specific home. Let's say if you take Bashir Bagh, there is a home. Has this, do these advances reach that particular home? It may take longer time because of lack of knowledge, lack of ecosystem. That's the main reason. Whereas the larger ones are all going for solar, storage, remote solar plants, remote wind plants, like that they're actually going off-grid actually. A lot of the energy supply is going off-grid. So by the way, this is my just personal opinion. A lot of times for these subsidies, there is a lot of catch in the subsidies. That is, there's a limit on how many subsidies they can give and all these other things. And also there's a bit of a gap in the understanding. So firstly, I would say subsidies or not, you should be convinced that solar is good for you. That's a very important part. Don't always wait for the money from the government. And that is one primary thing that is actually stopping the adoption. Let me tell you that much. Because what happened is that a lot of entrepreneurs have mushroomed everywhere, like every street corner, the mobile guys start putting up a solar thing also, that I can sell solar, right? It's so easy. But what happens is, now what does he know about the subsidies or the programs, or can you do the net metering and the whole policy? It's not easy. So because all those things could not be done, most of the consumers have stopped on the tracks. 2 years ago, there's a lot of thing. But today, what I would say is net metering is a real concept. I mean, real implementation, a real program. But subsidies and all, if they take it or not, don't depend on it. You should be working independent of the subsidies. You should be believing in clean energy. You should actually pay a little bit of premium for it. Why not, right? And secondly, whatever the best you can do, look around. You actually have many good solar entrepreneurs who can do this. So the technology is available, some good entrepreneurs are there, but there's also a lot of noise with a lot of small guys with a lot of different models, which are actually affecting the trust factor. So adoption is always from the easiest, low-hanging fruit is always the commercial and all this. There also what people are doing is actually the boot model is what people are doing it, again for solar. That seems to be the easier one. Or actually private utility model. Yeah. Any question? Yeah.
So it's an interesting session, but I think it's very short. One very fast way, I think. Perhaps it will be a longer session down the line. My only submission is that I'm Vijay from a company called Hyderabad Smart Services. We work on a lot of techno-economic viability studies, especially in this sector. My only weakness is, I want a few comments. Technologies like Tesla by Elon Musk, he came out with power first. He was one of the best informed people. Can you just address whether it is relevant to this smart energy?
visionary, and it's actually, after Steve Jobs and all, he's the one who's mostly looked up. And his announcements, his speech, if you haven't seen it, definitely you should see it, because it actually is a game-changing type of a presentation. Again, the adoption can take its own time. Okay, the concept is very good, and but the pricing and all that, it actually has to be watched out in India. But the most important part is he actually brought up the awareness that solar to battery is good enough, go off the grid. That is what he said primarily. If you want to actually make the society sustainable, that's what his message is. But how we do in India is a different matter. That is good for the advanced countries. For us, by the way, one thing that you'll always notice in everything that we do is, there is no 0-1 answer to anything. Is lithium-ion batteries good? Yes, good for some customers. Like that, so there's always a percentage adoption. I'd like to actually Amar Raja and Jagdish address it.
The Powerwall is a real good concept what Elon Musk has brought in. And I mean, like his Tesla cars, this one is also going to be a major talk of the industry or talk of the town for several years to come. The only thing we in India need to keep in mind is that is more suitable for Western countries, especially in the US, where there is a differential tariff system available in that society. So the power consumed at beyond midnight to the power consumed during the evening times is not the same. It is at least twice as higher as those two different timings. So whereas in India, it is not so. Right now we have single tariff throughout the day. But and one more thing is the Powerwall that he has brought in is more for off-grid type of systems. That is where you can actually store the energy. So it is going to pay off in a lesser time as compared to any other system that we adapt in India. So here what I propose is we need not look at Powerwall, but we need to take the concept and work a suitable smart solution for the Indian consumer. Why I am saying that is, the cost of that is coming to something like $430 per kilowatt hour. So $430, when we multiply with 60 rupees, is coming to something like 27,000 rupees, 1 kilowatt hour. So even if you go for 1 kilowatt solar system, that is going to generate 5 kilowatt hours in a day. That means that we need to have a battery of minimum 5 kilowatt hour battery. That is more than a lakh. Battery itself is 1 lakh. Solar system and other things, so it is going to cost a lot of money. But that one will work once, even in India also, we have a differential tariff system to take care of, when we go for peak time and non-peak time tariffs. But otherwise, he has brought a lot of awareness to the industry, and that is going to come to India. Even to India also it is going to come. Only thing is it's a matter of time and the cost. Right now it is at $430. Maybe in future it will come down to $200 or $150, and India is going to catch on. Right now the lead acid battery system, which can have a similar thing, is around $80 per kilowatt hour. So 80 to 430, it is only that much. But as more and more people start using that, the cost will come down, people will catch up.
So thank you so much, and thank you so much.
Just add to that.
Sorry.
I mean, you are being charged by differential tariff, but you don't know, because you are today paying by slabs, right? 1 to 100, 2 rupees, 100 to 200, X. So now in Telangana, at least once you are going into that slab, you're slapped with the entire unit. So you are paying differential tariff. In what form it metaphorizes later, we'll have to see that. But in effect, that's what you're
time of the day rates are something, they may not happen that easily. That
time of the day may come down the line. Some states have it. I mean, our state also has it for industries. But we'll have to watch and see.
Okay, let me wrap up, because we were already told to wrap up the session. And thank you so much, panelists, and thank you so much, guests, for being here. I do hope you actually have caught a number of bites. This is a huge area, I think if there's a request another time, we can do a full day session. But this is a growing area. See, for me, this advanced energy economy, as it is called, is going to be 100 times bigger than IT business. So if people are going to get into something new, entrepreneurs, or even your children, this is an excellent area to be in for the next 100 years. One very simple reason is because we ignored it for the last 100 years. So we'll have to invest into it for the next 100 years. Okay, so we don't have a choice because we are producing people irrespective of whether we have good energy economy or not. So with that said, thank you so much, everyone. And I think we have a good lunch after this. If you want, you can actually speak to the panelists after this. Thank you.